In business news, hopes up again for a trade deal to be reached soon between India and the United States. US Deputy Trade Representative Switzer heads to New Delhi this week for talks. It could mean reprieve for Indian exports now under 50% US tariffs and more access for American goods into the Indian market. Neha Poonia filed this report for CNA from New Delhi.
Officials have shied away from calling this week's meeting a, quote, formal round of negotiations, instead saying that, quote, differences are being resolved and that a call on signing a trade deal will be a political one. India and the US are negotiating two things. One is a full-fledged bilateral trade deal, and the second is a deal to deal with the issue of tariffs. The latter, obviously, is the priority from New Delhi's perspective. The latest rounds of talks coming close on the heels of the visit by Russian President Vladimir Putin, where he made a public offer to continue crude oil supplies to New Delhi, something that India neither acknowledged nor publicly rejected. Since the last time a US team was in India, New Delhi has, though, quietly reduced its import of Russian oil by about 30% year-on-year, figures from October show. Analysts say this will be New Delhi's trump card to get the US to waive off the penalty on Russian oil imports in the immediate future.
So the primary objective of Indian side negotiation is to first get rid of the 25% and then bring it down to around 10%. That's a bit of a hard negotiation with the Americans.
Since the reciprocal tariffs kicked in, India's exports to the US are down by over 28% as of October, after tariffs rose from 10% to 50%. And over half of India's US exports now face this high bracket of tariffs. And to tide the export industry over, the government has also approved a $5 billion support package to offset the impact of US tariffs. Experts say this is what's made the negotiation tough. One is the unpredictability of dealing with the Trump administration, and the second factor is that both sides are refusing to blink first.
Where the two of them are similar is that they both have a great sense of self and a great deal of, you want to call it ego, you want to call it pride, whatever term you want to give it, but they have an impression of themselves which is one of being strong and not willing to be bullied.
Shipping and logistics giant Maersk says it is experiencing increased demand from India as expectations grow that a tariff deal with the US will eventually be reached. But this week, President Trump hit out at New Delhi again, this time for allegedly claiming that India is dumping rice in the US. He's now saying he's considering imposing additional tariffs. Analysts say the message from New Delhi clearly is that while India doesn't want animosity with its largest trading partner and an important strategic partner, it's also not a country without options. It's holding simultaneous trade talks with officials from the European Union, and a trade pact with the EU could be announced next month, officials say, when European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen comes to New Delhi for talks with the Indian government and to attend the annual Republic Day Parade. For CNA, I'm Neha Poonia in New Delhi.